Why stop at 5? Why not go for 10?
You know, there were just too many other things that I wanted to do. You know, I loved my sports career, but even ahead of my CrossFit career. So, you know, I had one season where I didn't make it to the games, and then I had 7 consecutive seasons where I went to the games and was on the podium. But prior to that, I was a competitive weightlifter. I did Olympic weightlifting for 10 years. I started at 12 years old. The day I graduated high school, moved to the Olympic Training Center, you know, went through a severe injury, broke my L5 in 2 spots, got that bolted back together, continued my weightlifter career for another year. So I've been competing in a sport, and a high impact sport, since I was 12 years old. I had so much of my life on hold because of those, that I was just like, I did what I wanted to do in the sports world, or like in the competition side of things. And there was just too many opportunities that I always said no to because I knew it would distract me from pursuing the wins. And so, you know, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, you know, whether it was, you know, I had a handful of records by the time I finished. But then it was just like, okay, it's time for something else. And a big part of it too was, when I'm putting my life on hold, it's not just my life. I'm not just sacrificing those vacations or those family events or those parties, whatever it is. It's not just me sacrificing it. It's Sammy as well. Sammy's attached to my hip, going along for the ride. And so for her, you know, having to explain to her family, like, we can't make it to family Christmas. Matt has to go to Dubai because he has a qualifier that he has to compete in. It wasn't just me putting my life on hold. It's, you know, Sammy's right there by my side. Matt O'Keefe is right there by my side, giving all those same sacrifices. And then, you know, intentionally, like, nope, we're not going to I don't want to get married while I'm competing. I don't want to have kids while I'm competing because it will distract me from my end all be all goal. And, you know, I just had so many opportunities I was so excited for. I had accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish on the competitive side. And the big part too was, you know, I was like, I feel like I was meant for more. I feel like I'm capable of accomplishing so many more things as well. That I was like, you know, I did what I came to do on the competitive side, and now I want to pursue these other goals and achievements, whatever they are. But then two, I don't want to be selfish anymore. You know, like when I was training and competing, I liked training by myself because I didn't have to wait on anyone else's schedule. I didn't have to share equipment. I didn't have to anything. I didn't have to take anyone else's feelings or anything into consideration. I did exactly what I needed to do to have the best performance possible. And I wanted to share more time, and I wanted to share my life with Sammy. I wanted to, you know, give back to other people that wanted to compete. I wanted to see if I could help them. I wanted to, you know, travel the world and visit more gyms or competitions, and, you know, I wanted that side of things again. And so, you know, that's what we're doing.
Okay, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. I'm listening to you, and it reminds me a lot of when I've had conversations with Dorian Yates. You know, he won 6-time Mr. Olympia, and
Mm-hmm.
he had a similar mentality to you back in the day. I guess
Mm-hmm.
it was his early 90s, where he just cut everything out of his life. You know, it was early bedtimes.
Mm-hmm.
It was no family around. It was him walking 2 miles through the snow to open up the basement and lift in the morning, knowing that he was the only guy doing that.
Yeah.
He was in Birmingham. All the other guys were out in Venice Beach, you know, posing and stuff. And he would just not say anything. Nobody knew he was the shadow.
Yep.
And no one knew what he was doing. And we would just get there, and then people were just like, what the hell's going on? And,
Yeah.
But, you know, that could only last so long. And also for him, injuries happened as well. And so maybe you can only be singly focused like that for so long.
Yeah. And you know, who knows? You know, once again, I didn't do it any other way, so I don't know.
Right.
You know, was I sacrificing all the, like, could have I?
Was it not fun that last year?
No, Well, I mean, the last year competing was incredibly stressful because it was during the COVID, and so, you know, so the games kept getting delayed because they wouldn't allow the group gathering, and they didn't know what COVID was quite yet, or, you know, whatever. You know, like the NBA was shut down. You know, we have a fraction of the resources, but so it kept getting delayed, which was really, really tough because I'm on a very regimented taper and peaking cycle, especially with weightlifting. You know, you're tapering to, you know, go for those 1 rep maxes right before you compete, and you know, you're coming into those last couple weeks where you're getting into the 90-95% loads, and then we're delaying it 3 weeks, and you're like, shit, well, what do? Do I hit my peak and then try to maintain it, or do I take a 3-week jump backwards in my training and just do it on repeat? And I think the games got delayed maybe 3 times, you know, a couple weeks apiece. Don't quote me on that number, but then they did the games in 2 sections. So they did an online version where they released all the workouts. CrossFit sent a ref out, and Rogue sent equipment out to every athlete. So everyone had the same bars they would use in competition, the same bumper plates, the same reffing standards, everything. And then they gave you a floor plan that you had to abide by. So if you had to reconfigure your gym, but it was just so that everyone had the exact same things. So, you know, doing something like doing that, and then they took the top five men, top 5 women, and then it was a small enough group that we were able to have an in-person competition. But I think that season got delayed out. So it was like basically like a 14-month season. So, you know, that was really, really mentally hard because I knew it was my final year. I knew I was retiring after that competition. And then you're playing this mind game of, what if the competition doesn't happen? Do I do another year of this? You know, and so I tried retiring in 2019. I was retired for maybe like 4 days. Like, there was no announcement or anything. I told the people that were close to me. And then I got talked out of it by O'Keefe. And so I was like, okay, I'll do this one more time. And then, you know, it's that one more time happens, and then the competition might not come together, and you're like, holy shit, I just did that whole year of training for nothing. Like, am I going to do it again? And so it's just that uncertainty of not knowing what's going to happen. But I'm glad I stayed in it. I'm glad CrossFit, you know, put in the extra time, effort, and resources to make that competition happen. And
Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's CrossFit been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.